Gather around. We're doing story time. Come on. Come on. Get your water, your comfiest blanket. I have my wine glass. Let's do it. Let's do it. So, I have been kind of thinking about doing like story times for a good minute. As you know, because I mentioned it already, and I'm hoping to get to a place where I feel like I don't have to keep mentioning it. But I'm a holistic wellness practitioner, amongst being a researcher, and a myriad of other things. Okay, my expertise is in health and wellness, particularly holistic health and wellness, with a caveat or nuance focused in trauma. How did I come down this road? Because I lived it. I lived with adverse childhood experiences. I lived with sexual assaults. I lived with alcohol and drug use. I lived it. And so I'm talking and speaking from a place of lived experience as well as research. But I want to go on and begin to open up and share all the foo la la that I participated and how I kind of respond to it now. Or I guess I'm looking for a space to just talk about the shit I used to do in a helpful way. So cheers to that. So I want to talk about this one particular time because it's been over 7 years. The statute of limitations is expired. I can talk about it. I'm not going to give exact details. Okay, I'm not self-incriminating myself, but I am going to hold myself accountable in front of you all, in front of the community that we're building together. Okay, so I'm not going to go into the years. I I had a very poor relationship with my dad. My father's no longer living. Just to kind of set the scene, I was raised in a single family or single parent household. My mother, low income. My grandmother helped out, and I didn't have a good, solid example of what a healthy man was supposed to look like. And I mean, my mom had a longtime boyfriend that he did help raise us, but he was a complete misogynistic, just hypersexual male. Where I'm talking about, we were in the car, he would gawk and make the most uncomfortable comments of women right in front of us, in front of two young girls. So I say that to say I'm setting the environment, okay? The environment in which I was brewed in. You get what I'm saying? So fast forward, I'm in my college years. I am dating a guy almost identical, okay? Not identical in face, but identical in the same rhetoric, the same personality to the gentleman who helped raise me and my sister. And at the time, I was like, "Oh, that's a compliment because he's a provider. He's good. He's good to us." Mhm. Mhm. Completely overlooking the whole uncomfiness, like the stuff that I mean, like he would dog my mom out, and I would always feel the feels. I would be experiencing a mix of feelings of like being excited that he's coming, but at the same time feeling nervous for what that means for my mom to get all dressed up and for her not to be included. So it was just a weird environment to exist in. It was a weird environment to exist in. So I found a guy that exactly like it. I was like, I want me one of these. And he was a college sweetheart, so to speak. And I guess I'm like grooming myself because it's a nervous tick or something. Let me put my hands down. But he was a college sweetheart, and it's just a terrible, like the first time we ever like were physical, and I'm not talking about sexual, but just like hugging and embracing, I broke out in full body hives. Full body hives. And I'm talking about painful full body hives. It was as if my body was telling me, girl, run. Run. And surely I did not. I was like, danger? A red flag? Let me look and see what's going on in here. Why are you a red? Why aren't you orange or yellow? So we proceeded to go, and I was chasing hard. I'm like, I want you. You will be mine, and I don't care who or how I'm gonna get it. You're gonna be mine. And he was very much like, no, I'm not interested in being in a relationship with you. I just want to do me. And I was just like, I can't take that. I'm not taking no for an answer. Very problematic. Very problematic in itself. Okay, ladies, if you're listening to this, if a man tells you he don't want you, don't have him tell you more than once. Don't get up, sis. Damn. And so I even spoke to the gentleman who raised me about this, and he was very stern with me. He's like, if he said he don't want you, he don't want you. Stop, da da da. And I think I got on his nerves because I was resembling my mom a lot at that moment. He was like, if he said da 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 da. And of course, you know, it was triggering him because he's like, I know the game. I know the game. He playing the game with you. You didn't. Mm-hmm. So I'm sipping this like it's wine. Okay, this is wine time. Wine time. Um, so fast forward, at this time I was in college. I was working 3 jobs, and my lease was up, and I was just like, I'm going to move in with you. Now, at this time, I pretty much, you know, kidnapped the man into saying, or forcing him rather, to be like, okay, we go together. It at this point in time, it was like 2 years of consistent pursuing on my end, okay? And I would break things off, and I'm like, oh, I need to keep going back. I need to keep going back. And so, at this point in time, this person left because they had a different job. And I took it upon myself to just move in. So I moved all my stuff in. I still had my own apartment, but I was just staying there. I went ahead and moved a whole dog in. It's the dog I have now. I moved a whole dog in, and I set up shop. I completely like reorganized the house. Now, this was back in the day where there was college housing. So within a single apartment, there was like 4 bedrooms. And at that time, 2 of the roommates no longer lived there. So it was just him and another roommate. So, yeah, I just moved myself in there. And the other roommate, rightfully so, had an attitude that I was there. And I moved a big old dog in there. Rightfully so. But then... I don't have a true place to talk about this man and how he chose to live in the house in which he paid for, but I'm going to do it anyway. He had a whole workout gym in the middle of the living room, and mind you, this guy had a dog too. The dog got evicted because he didn't pay the dog rent or whatever, and so I don't have grounds to talk about this man, but I'm going to talk about him. Okay, who puts a gym in the middle of their living room and no one's using it but the guy? But I digress. So here I am. I moved myself in. The guy that I was seeing, he got a new job, so he was out of the house, right? And oh Lord. And my sister and I jokingly call it, I was squatting. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. It was like I was squatting. So the guy and I got into it because he locked me out. He locked me out of the house in which I don't live or pay bills in, but locked my dog in for over a day and a half. And to that point, I was let into the apartment complex, and I said, "Oh no, this ain't gonna be the last you see of me." I unlocked all the windows in that room, and I just remember I was like, "I'm gonna come back at the dead of night in the morning time, and I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna get back in this house." What is going on? What is going on with me at this time, right? And so I did that. I finally got my dog, and while he was sleeping comfortably on the couch, I came in at like 6 a.m, and I made all this noise, and I was just like, just being a nuisance. And I went to get the rest of my stuff, but I just felt so perturbed. Like, how dare you put boundaries on me that I can't be in this spot? And so I say that to say that roommate got evicted. And then I moved back in. Okay, and continued to squat there, not paying any bills. But prior to that, I share that to say because I was literally crazy. Like I was like, you're not gonna do me. Like I was prepared to fight the man. I was prepared to be about that action. I was real grimy, real gutter at that point in time in my life. And that's not just the only time. And looking back at this, I'm like, that was legit breaking and entering, bitch. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I'm talking about the same guy. We lived in the same apartment complex. He ignored me. And again, I was like, how dare you do that to me? You will not ignore me. And this is, I mean, it's directly triggering childhood trauma. It's not an excuse. I understand why I was responding in that way. But I would drive down to his house and bang on windows. Just real ratchet. Real ratchet. It's not my proudest moments. It's really not. But shame cannot exist in darkness, and I'm telling you my story. Um, but after, I know I kind of like jumped all over the place. So there's two different times, and after that, I ended up breaking up. I ended up breaking up with a guy. I did, because I recognized long before he left for his job. I was like, this isn't, we've kind of reached the point of like, we outgrew each other. We were here for a moment. And it was a bad relationship. I mean, he stole from me. I stole from him. We used each other. We weren't nice to each other. It was very tumultuous and toxic at points. And he cheated. And so, I learned a lot. And it was actually, I felt like it was a test for me. It was a test whether I was going to stay on the current timeline and pathway I was on, which was heavy, riddled with really poor life decisions, and just picking things that didn't want me back, right? And I had to make the painful choice to untether myself and move into a different direction. And I said untethering because it was like we trauma bonded at certain points. Like my mom had cancer, his father passed away at the time. So I feel like we were trauma bonded to a degree. And you kind of become comfortable with like what like here we are about to go into this new phase of adulthood, and you know the person I've tethered myself to, I can't rely on, I can't call on, but I'm like, you've been like a great source of pain for me. And not even just you, but me myself have been a great source of pain. And I was like looking back at like how I shrank myself down to exist, and how much I dimmed my light, and how much I stifled and hurt myself, and how I was treating myself was exactly how I was showing up in other communities. I was, at this point in time, I was not a good person. I mean, I don't know if I would say that. I would say that I wasn't a good person at that time. Like I would do good things. I am that's something to think about. I think maybe I was just a person figuring life out, doing shitty things, but I also would do good stuff. But I was doing shitty stuff. Like I stole someone's jacket from the club, broken and entering, threatening to fight people, like just superimposing myself onto people, like took money from, like I was doing real shitty stuff at that time. And it wasn't in alignment with like my true essence of who I am. And so I was in a deep depression. I mean, I was crying going to work, and so that time was just really heavy. It was a really heavy time. And so like I was saying, I had to make a choice. So I could continue on this path, or I could shift and go down a different path. And I felt like I had no other choice but to. I was like, you can either drown here or you can move on. I'm just thankful I didn't have a baby by the man. I'm thankful that I did not have a baby by the man. Thank the Lord. I left clean with no baggage, so it was good. But why did I want to share this? So I talk about like self-love, I talk about meditation, I talk about confidence and all these things and emotional balance, not because I'm like, this is what we should do, but because my life I've created for myself right now is a direct reflection of the adaptation and integration, like the plugging and chugging these things that I'm talking about consistently, and look where it has led me. And so I want to go and share the good news, to share what worked for me. And maybe one thing will help someone. Maybe, you never know. You never know. So I'm like, I feel so passionate about sharing my stories and sharing like the truth of it all. Like, I was out here being a fucking menace to society. I was being a menace to society. Okay? I was not always love and light. Absolutely not. Actually, I was coal and smoke. Okay? And I had to chip away at the smoke and the coal, dust it off, put a little sweat, clean it up, and now I'm shiny. Okay? I had to really dig deep. I felt at that time like my shadow self was truly running the show. She was alive and well. She was alive and well. So my shadow self was definitely running the show. And whereas now I'm more balanced. Like, I still have my shadow, but she's integrated. I know how to work with her. I'm like not allowing her to just tear my shit up. Like, you ain't gonna tear my marriage up, sis. Like, just because you got an attitude, we're gonna have to use our words and figure out what you're trying to say, what you're trying to convey. I can't have my shadow self just being like irate with my children just because you got an attitude and you're annoyed. So what? Can't do it. So I definitely, that period of time, albeit harmful for myself and the harm that I've caused to others, it taught me something, and it showed me that I no longer wanted to live that life. And if by chance, if you are someone who was impacted by me at that time, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. Feel free to email me and we can talk for real, because I can recognize I was a ass. I was an ass. So yeah, that was your story time. It was a little bit all over the place, but the general gist is breaking and entering, horrible life choices, early 20s, figuring life out. If this content is something that you enjoy, then please feel free to leave me a comment. Actually, if you stayed to the end of the video, put a butterfly in the chat for your girl. Put a butterfly in there, and expect more content like this. Like, I want to do more story times because I've lived life. I'm 32, I'm about to be 33 this upcoming year. I lived at least 3 decades, at least three. And I mean, even within those 3 decades, I feel like I've lived at least like 6 different lifetimes, like on different trajectories, because the life that I was living versus now, it's not even night and day. It's like I don't even recognize myself. Like, when I look at pictures, I was like, I don't even recognize you, girl. So yeah, stick with the channel. We're gonna be doing more, open discussion like this. We're gonna be talking about psychology. We're gonna talk about wellness, the spiritual. We're talking about all the things, and then maybe we'll meditate. Maybe we'll do some chair yoga. We don't know. We don't know what we'll do, but it's gonna be more consistent for me. Now, I'm putting it out here. I'm going to put a little buzz in that you will also might be interested in my longer form content. So this is like my medium form. If you're interested in more structured content, like weekly, daily, not weekly, but weekly card pulls Monday and Wednesday. If you want first dibs on my classes that I create, because I am releasing a new one called Holistic Writing. It's real good. It's real good. So you will be the first to get access to any of the classes and all the things. Check out my school link, which I'm dropping, and also check out my website. I have a bunch of cool stuff on here, free blogs, free downloadables, but also paid content as well. Support your girl. Have a wonderful day. Toodaloo, baby boo.